my creatives, and welcome to another video. So today I'm here to share my new altered book, which I turned into a glue book, and I'm going to use this glue book to do the collage weekly challenges by Marguerite Miller. So the first one is something magical, time, translucent paper such as tracing paper, vellum, tissue paper, furniture, and something triangular. So what I did for these challenges is I went through my stash to find things for the prompts, and then I will create my collage. So as this is a glue book, I try to only glue things inside. And first of all, I'm going to start off with this magazine image from, a living magazine with furniture. So that is the first prompt, and I'm going to rip off the edges because I like the look of ripped edges. Now I was wondering if I want to do it portrait or in landscape. I ended up doing it in portrait style. The first page is in landscape, but you can always turn your journal, right? You don't have to have these rules that it always has to be landscape or always has to be portrait. You can do whatever you want because it's your journal. Now this was the first challenge from Marguerite Miller, and I will leave the prompt list where I got it down below in the description box so you can get it too. And I have to say I struggled with this first one quite a lot because it's a different kind of creating for me. I'm used to using a lot of mixed media, and I don't always work with prompts, although I have to say that the prompts really help me at the moment with creating because I don't know if you have the same, but I do have that sometimes all the stuff that I have, I love all my stuff, but sometimes it's so overwhelming and I don't know where to start. So having these prompts was very nice, but these prompts are not in my comfort zone. I rarely work with triangles and it was, just a different kind of thing. I altered this book that I received with my groceries. You can watch that video on my Patreon page. I post weekly videos on my Patreon page. So if you would like to see more of me, head over to there. You can also become a printable creative, and then you will get a digital kit every month that I designed. And you can also become a chatty creative and join us in our Zoom meetings, which are definitely a highlight of my month. I absolutely love our Zoom meetings. They are so much fun. We chat, we talk, we chat about everything, about life, about creating, and we create things together. It's a lot of fun. So if you are interested, you can find that down below in the description box. But I really don't like these colorful pages. So I am covering them up with scraps of text paper that I keep because I cut out an image from them, and then there's still text left, and I think, well, maybe I will need that someday. Like I don't have enough old book text, but okay. It was nice now because I could use it to cover up the edges of this page and create a neutral background. So after I did that, I come in back with my magazine image, and I've also found that fairy, that is the something magical prompt that I fussy cut in the beginning of the video, and I thought it would be fun. As a child, you would like to jump on the furniture and on the couch and stuff, so I thought it would be fun to, channel my inner child a little bit and put him on the furniture. But then I got a little bit stuck. I like to have cohesive and balanced collages and art journal pages and all those things. And then these triangles just totally threw me off because I didn't know what to do with them. I really liked the colors because they were picked from the fairy. But it was quite a challenge. So I will be struggling a lot with this, and I will put them on my page and take them off again. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I will leave timestamps for you in the description box so you can jump through the pages because I'm doing week 1 till 4 right now. I planned on posting this video a little bit earlier, but we are doing some home renovating here and I didn't have time to do so. So that is why I'm a little bit later than I planned, but that's okay. So now I'm trying a different kind of, composition. And I don't know, I don't really like triangles, I figured out. That's probably also why I never thought of using them. Because I like organic shapes. I like dynamic things. I'm not as structured in my work. I like things to flow, and then now you have these silly triangles. But that is the fun thing about a challenge like this, is that you're using stuff that you usually wouldn't use. And I found out that I don't like triangles, but sometimes I find out that I do like a certain thing I never thought of. The tag that I'm using here with the word time is for, of course, the time prompt. It was one that was sent to me in Happy Mail. So I have my drawers of Happy Meal stuff people send me, and I take out supplies from there once I need them. I mostly use the things that you send me in my personal journal or in my own projects, and not so much in other people's snail mail, because I think it's super special that you send me these things. So I was still missing something, and I went into my stamp book and I found stamps with similar colors. So with these challenges you can add whatever you want, but you do have to use the 5 prompts. There's also always a bonus one, so you can swap one out, but I haven't used the bonus ones yet until now. So here you see me moving everything around again. It's really funny because when I edit these videos I'm like, Kyra, come on, get there, do it. Then I figured that the triangles were a little bit too big, so I cut them down a little bit and tried to create something with them. And then I found what I wanted to do. So I added them this way as a border, and then I was like, okay, this is the best I can do, so we are going for this. I use the triangles. They are nicely on my page, so we are going for it. And after this, it went pretty fast with my composition, I have to say. I used one of the vellum quotes for the translucent paper prompt, and I didn't mind that it will be covered up a little bit because you can still read it. People fill in the words by themselves. Usually you only need the first letter and the last letter on the right place, and then your brain knows what it says. And I thought it would be fun to create a little bit of interest. And then I remembered that I have these beautiful Van Gogh washi tapes. And this resembles the Starry Night. And well, that matches with magical, right? Or magic. So I used these strips to create a little bit more interest, but also to fill in these text gaps because they were really, really bothering me. It was too much text, too blank. So I decided to use this washi tape, and after this it went pretty fast. So I'm putting them under the triangles. It's always a good thing to overlap your elements so you create more depth. And I have to say this first page is pretty structured for my doing. So now I stuck down all the triangles, and I also wanted to add a strip of this beautiful white washi on top on that, well, very blank space there. And I really like that. Later on I will struggle a little bit with this because I didn't want to cover it up. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. I love Van Gogh. I also went to the Van Gogh Museum 2 years ago, I believe. It was before Corona. So I think maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, I think so. 4? I don't know. It was a beautiful museum and I loved seeing his work, and I always feel very inspired by it, so I really want to add it, and I had the biggest trouble covering up this washi tape. But after this it went pretty fast. I'm taking my stamps again to create some clusters, and you have heard me say this multiple times, but I can move things around on my page for hours and hours and hours. But I always set a certain time for myself. Okay, now it is done and you have to stick things down. And that is what I'm doing here. I figured it took me too long, and I was, too much trying to search for the perfect composition. I always have this when I start a new project. I feel like, the first page has to be amazing. It doesn't have to be, but it's the pressure you feel. And then I give myself a certain time. Okay, we are going to stick things down right now, and this is where it will be. Here you see me struggle a little bit with the postage stamps and me not wanting to cover up that washi tape. In the end, I cover up a little bit of it, but it's still beautiful and it's still showing there. And I also wanted to create a nice cluster with that time tag, which I cut off the white border off because it threw me off a little bit. And I'm placing my quote, and now I am happy. So I am going to stick things down. I'm no longer going to think about it because I am very good at overthinking things. Even in my craft, I think my craft has also learned me a lot of life lessons about perfectionism, about overthinking, about performing. I share, of course, my work online. So sometimes I get trapped in that I need to create amazing things because I share my work online. To be honest, if I would only share my amazing work, I think you will see a video every 3 months. Because not everything that I create is amazing, and it's not always about the end result. Sometimes it's about the process and just the act of doing, especially for my mental health. The act of creating and the act of making is very, very good for my mental health because it helps me to be in the moment and to be just here in my craft room. I don't think about tomorrow, I don't think about yesterday, I don't think about my anxiety. It's just me and my papers and supplies, and that is the main reason that I craft so much and a lot. So it doesn't really matter how it looks. Now everything is stuck down, and I remembered that I received these letters in Happy Mail from Debbie. And I wanted to spell out the word magical, but I didn't have enough letters. So I decided, okay, we're going to spell out the word magic. Often a word or a quote finishes things off for me. So I really wanted to add something like that. And when I put it up on the page on top, I knew, okay, this is the spot. This makes me very, very happy. And after this, I feel like my page is completed. So what I will do is I will stamp my date, and I also stamped my date on the card. I don't do this weekly. I do this whenever I can. That works for me. If you want to do it week by week, please do so, but I do it when I feel like it. The second week is something that lives in a forest, a scrap from a paper pad, a playing card, something postal, and cursive writing. And this one went pretty fast. So I found this image in a book. I'm taking this scrap from a paper pad from Action that I bought years ago. Then I will grab a playing card. I end up using 2. I have these envelopes from Your Creative Studio box for something postal, and this vellum piece with cursive writing for something cursive. So I'm going to fussy tear around my, is it a boar? I don't know the English word. I do think so. But he is a forest animal, and he was a very good size. So I wanted to add him, and I would have never chosen him because I usually go for deer or rabbits or butterflies or anything like that. So it was really fun to use an image that I would not reach for usually. I'm going to take one of these big playing cards, and I'm going to create my focal point first, adding all the stuff that needs to be added for the challenge first, and then I will create around that. So this is pretty much the composition that I will keep. It really happened really fast. I am going into my scrap box, and I have these strips that are left over from another project from Book Pages, but it was just too structured. So I'm going back into my box. I'm going to create somewhat of a, like masterboard kind of collaging with neutrals. And I am just flicking through. I found this butterfly that I didn't use. I made it for another project, but I didn't use it. So I thought, well, why not? Why can't he be in my background? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick things down. I'm not going to think about this background. They're all neutral colors, so it will always work. Neutrals always work. And I'm just looking for different textures. I have a piece of a book page that I used to add some leftover paint on. That's something what I'm doing right now. Very much enjoy that. I used to put excess paint in my art journal pages, on new art journal pages. But I noticed that I don't really like it as much. And then I saw Barbara from 49 Dragonflies do it on book pages or on parchment paper or anything like that, and use them again in her collages. And I thought, well, that's brilliant. So I'm going to do that too. I have a lot of book pages now laying around. So for me, it's a very good solution to use them. But also you have the little pop of color here with that orange. And you don't need to use the whole piece, just a little bit, and it gives a fun, different kind of texture. With collaging these things, I am looking at different fonts, but also different kinds of paper coloring. So I have some more brown ones, and I have some more that are a little bit more white. And I'm looking if the fonts are different. I think it's really fun, especially if you have some older books. The fonts are completely different from new books. So I'm just trying to fill in the gaps. I'm not going to collage behind my cluster, of course, because that would be a waste of time. Especially I have enough scraps, so I don't worry about my scraps. But it would be a waste because this big cluster will be on top of it, so it doesn't need to be covered up completely. I also used a scrap of my cutting out hearts for my altered book on top there. I kept that, and I think it's really cute up there. And now it is time to assemble the cluster. So I have my scrap from a paper pad here that I'm going to put around the side. First I will cut off the excess paper because it really annoys me when they are sticking out and I feel like I don't see the balance. Because it is so weirdly shaped. So if I cut these off before I do my focal point, it really helps me. I never cut my papers to size because I always cut them too short or too long. So if they're too short, I need to fix it. And when they're too long, I still need to cut it off. So this is what I like to do with all of my projects. And now it is time to grab my cluster. So this went really fast. The only thing that's left for me now is to stick this down. But I was something still missing. So I went into my washi stash and I thought I would add some washi tapes. You know how much I love washi tapes, and they just give a little bit of extra fun interest without being a lot. It's a different texture, and I like to create washi collages with different kinds of washi tapes. And what I like to do is I like to rip them in half and layer them on top of each other because I feel that gives a lot of interest. I try to do that on several pages on my page, several places on my page, so it feels like part of the background and not just one spot. It really depends. If it's part of my focal point, then I'm okay, but usually I do this on multiple places. I wanted to pull in a little bit of that red from that postal envelope. So I have this washi tape from Your Creative Studio that I'm using. It's a beautiful dark red. And now I am going to glue everything together. So I'm going to glue the big pieces together first. And I am using glue from Action, which I absolutely don't like, but I thought it was perfect for this project because I want to use it up. I don't want to throw it away because it's such a waste, because it's glue, but I really don't like it. So I thought this project would be a great way to use up that glue, especially because this is supposed to be a stress-free, just me collaging kind of thing, and it's not about perfection. So I thought this was the perfect project to use that glue. I was still something missing, like I said, so I went into my stash and I found these washi stickers that I am going to use to layer them up. And I also found these amazing playing cards with they are called Vienna playing cards. And they have an amazing backing, but also look at this beautiful woman over there. So I thought I wanted to add her as well, also to bring in a little bit more of the red. And then I will have used 2 playing cards, but that is okay, right? I think you can always add more. I'm always very free with challenges. I don't do very well with hard set rules. So I always like to give it my own spin to things. Now I wanted to layer this washi sticker underneath. So what I did is I cut off just a little bit of the acetate backing so I could stick down the top, so I could position it where I want it to be, and then I will take off the rest of the backing. I'm going to close up this envelope because I'm not going to use it as an envelope, and I'm going to stick it down, and I'm going to use my glue stick for my vellum. I figured that glue stick works pretty well with vellum, so that's what I like to use because you don't really see it through it. And now I want to stamp out a word. Like I said before, I do very well with words. I also see them as design elements. They're not just words to me, but also a design element. And I'm going to stamp out self-care. Now on the side, I'm stamping off on a book text page. And they give really, really cool pages for your junk journals. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. Now we're going into week 3, and that is something fast, lace, a game piece, ledger paper, and text in a foreign language. Now, text in a foreign language was super easy for me because I'm Dutch. I have fast, that image. I have a freebie from Barbara, and for text in a foreign language, I have a page from a Jane Austen book in English. I'm Dutch, so English is a foreign language. And I have a game piece with some art on it and a piece of lace. And this time I decided to create a double page spread because this image was quite big and I didn't want to lose anything of it. So I decided to, just go for a double page spread because, it's my book and my journal, so I can do whatever I want, right? If I want to create a double page spread, then I do. And I don't have to do it all the time and every time, but if I want to, I can. So I'm tearing off the white edges from Barbara, her freebie that she gifted us in December. And I printed it off multiple times because look at that beautiful text paper. Now this is in German, so that is also foreign for me. So I have 2 times a foreign language. But I'm going to use it to complete my background and to cover up that horrible colored page. It's the same with the book text, and as you can see, I am putting things together and I am not measuring anything. I'm just eyeballing, okay, I want to have it like this, then I need to tear it at this place. I don't really like measuring. I do it when I have to, and especially with my junk journals and binding them, I am measuring, but if I don't have to measure, then I'd rather not. So here you see me filling up all the places and edges, and this is also a Dutch book with a very, very cool font. It's a very old book and I'm going to use that over there. Now I'm happy with everything that I put on my pages, and I'm going to just glue everything down. So I try to start from the bottom, so it's a little bit of a tactical gluing, and then the things that go on top I glue last. I wanted to add my piece of lace there on the side, and I decided to use my glue stick. I recently bought some fabric glue, but I didn't have it when I was making this, so I decided to use my glue stick because putting liquid glue on this really, really makes a mess, and I don't like it. So I thought I would try it with some glue stick. I did have to put quite a lot of glue stick on there, but in the end it stuck down, and if it will let go in the future, I will glue it again. It will be fine, but I really like that lace over there. Now this game piece is pretty thick. It's from a memory, so I have 2 of each, and I decided to take off the backing a little bit to make it a little bit thinner because I want to have a lot of collages in this book, and if it's just a very thick cardboard game piece, then it will bulk up my journal a lot. I noticed that this book page with this running man was very, very shiny, and what I like to do is I like to add some matte medium on top of that to make it less shiny, and then I needed a focal point. So I'm taking this painting from Rembrandt, and I found all of these books in my thrift stores, so it's very, very cool. I'm doing a lot of thrifting, and it's super fun because I really liked him with this page. So I decided to fussy cut him and put him there. Now you see me use some stickers, and these are from the antiquarian sticker book. I had the sticker book on my lap, so you can't see the book itself, but it's on my lap. And I'm just flicking through it to see if I find stickers that I would like with this. I didn't think about it. I just pulled the sticker. I thought, okay, that will look fun. I'm going to pull that sticker, and that's that. Here you see that the lace didn't stick, so I'm re-gluing that with my glue stick. But I just have that book on my lap, and I flick through it, and then when doing this, I felt the vibes of this page for me. So I am having a lot of anxiety at the moment, and you know that I journal about myself, how I'm doing, what my life is about, and I got a little bit of this creepy anxiety vibes from this page. So I decided that that would be a great theme. So I went with the theme of anxiety, and I wanted to give myself a little bit of a positive affirmation with that. Now these stickers don't stick very well, so if you need to add a little bit of extra glue, please do so. But they are great stickers to use. I wanted to add some words, and I was thinking about how I could do that because it's pretty dark. And then I decided, okay, I'm not going to stamp anything. I'm just going to write out anything, my thing that I want to say. And I am going to write, keep moving their thoughts. Now I noticed while editing that I spelled thoughts wrong because I was pretty tired when I created this page. So yes, I know. And these things happen. It's okay. The most important thing for me was to keep moving their thoughts. They're just thoughts. And I do a little bit of journaling about my anxiety and having a burnout to create a little bit more texture, but also have a little bit of context to this page, which I really enjoyed. Now the last page for today is week 4, and that is something fancy, something that starts with an H, part of a recipe, a tree with fruit and blossom. And then I missed the last one. This is for something fancy. This is starting with an H. It's a handbag, part of a recipe, and I believe it was trees and something torn. So I am going to add this image that I found in one of my books. I thought it would be a great background piece. So I'm just going to tear around the edges, making sure that we'll cover up this horrible orange page to be ready for my collage. So I'm sticking that down, and I just tore down that one edge that I needed to be straight for the spiral, and the other parts I will cut off with my scissors. Like I said, I don't do this up front because I always need to fix it. After I cut that down, I am going to take first I'm checking if everything is stuck down. I'm going to take the woman with the handbag for something with an H, and I am fussy cutting her out, and she will be my main focal point. I really love the contrast between the colors of the background and her. Part of a recipe, I'm going to rip this magazine page out. I'm going to rip out part of the magazine. There's a little bit of pink in there, so that's why I chose it. Now I'm going to fussy cut these gloves for my something fancy. And then I really liked where the theme of this was going. It gave me vibes of traveling. I also have this Disneyland ticket. I have to say I never went to Disneyland, so maybe I should do that sometime. I do live in Europe, so it will be in Paris then. Maybe one day I can go to America. I would love that. But this gave me, I don't know, such happy vibes and about traveling and about going places. So when I stuck all the required elements down, I will find a word sticker that will fit with that. First of all, I'm going to stick everything down, and if your composition is not perfect, it doesn't really matter. As you can see here, I decided to move a thing and then there was some glue. It doesn't really matter. You can take a baby wipe and wipe it off. It is just a glue book page and it's just for fun. I wanted to add that torn Disneyland ticket, and I'm going to cut off the excess to see how everything is. And then I also had that second part. So I'm going to check where I want to add that. And I was a little bit in doubt. I think I ended up putting it next to the Disneyland ticket over there, because I couldn't find a proper place for it anywhere else, and I actually really like how that turned out. Then I am thinking what to add next, and I found the words in the Tim Holtz Chit Chat book that say travel to happiness. I believe this is Big Chat, and I thought that would be fun, but there was still something missing. So I went into my nature books and I found this beautiful pink floral that was very vertical, which was exactly what I needed. I wanted to bring in some more pink, but also something that was very, very vertical, very long. So I decided to cut that out and add that over there to layer up with the recipe and my focal image. And for me, that completed the whole page. I was super, super happy with it. This is also a thrifted book. I'm very much enjoying using thrifted books at the moment. I'm going to add my date, and then this is week 1 till 4 for the CW Planner Challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoyed this, then I will be making more. If you didn't like it, also let me know, and then I will not create these anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment or subscribe. It would really help my channel out, because YouTube really, really likes it when people engage with it. It would really help my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye!